and welcome back to Gunpla Rush. Now, normally I do speed builds on this channel. I will generally always put out weekly videos for you guys on those. However, this week's a bit different. I wanted to review the Knight of Dark Sky. It's not technically a Gunpla. It's not a Gundam. It's just a really cool model kit that I got recently. They run about $100, so I wanted to review this thing for you guys so you would know if it's worth your money. Is it equivalent to Gundams? Should you buy it or should you stay away from this guy? Now, it is listed as TP-05 Tanod, Knight of the Dark Sky. It's a non-zero studio original mecha series, so basically it's definitely not a Gundam. However, there are some key differences between this guy and a Gunpla, mainly that its body, the inside of it, is already pre-built and it's basically just a core. It's the skeletal frame for the rest of the mecha. It also does come with an LED and a small battery holster, a battery compartment to install that LED inside of his head so his eyes will light up and glow. This was a particularly cool thing that I wasn't prepared for when I built mine, so I don't have the battery in it. But once I get the battery in there, I'll probably do another short video for you guys on that. But without any further ado, let's talk about the Knight of Dark Sky and some of the stuff you can expect from it. So for starters, the core, the frame is very sturdy. It is one of the better frames. If you've built a frame arms type of Gunpla or frame arms type of model kit, you'll be kind of familiar with this one. However, the body is a lot more sturdy, but you will need to basically flex the joints a little bit before you start building on this guy to keep it from giving you any other later down the road frustrations with snapping pieces on or trying to move the limbs around in order for you to adjust certain model pieces. Moving on to the actual model itself, though, the pieces snap in place very well, but I do say that you need to clean them up you do need to clean them up pretty good to keep them from not being able to snap, but once you get all those little pieces off the edges, it's not a problem at all. The Knight of Dark Sky is covered with very intense details. You will build a lot on this guy, of course, but he does have a ton of details, so don't think that because it's not a Gunpla kit, it's not going to be the same quality of a Gunpla kit. I mean, this thing is a bit taller than an MG, not necessarily a PG, but it's somewhere in between, and I will bring up what that looks like here in just a moment for you. But honestly, even at that height, it is a pretty good, solid kit. However, there is a slight downside. This kit is so heavy that he does not like to stand up on his own without some sort of model stand or something bracing his backside to keep him standing up. He's a very heavy kit, so the weapons that he have, they're very long and they generally throw his weight off a little bit. So he can maybe fall off of your shelf a bit if you don't give him the proper counterweighting. Secondly, his hands don't hold the swords as well as I'd hope for them to. Sometimes they pop off, but for the most part, if I added some glue there, it would probably do a lot better. But as this is meant to be a snap together kit, I didn't think I would need glue for it. But moving on to the scaling. So over here we have all the way to the left, we have an HG, so we have a high grade, a 144. Next, and that's, we'll just start that over. So moving on to the scaling. All the way to the left of the screen, we have an HG 144 RX-78-2. Now this Gundam is one of the most typical Gundams you can get, but next to it, of course, is the Banshee, and it is a master grade, so it's a 1/100 scale. The scale of the Knight of Dark Sky didn't really tell us on the box what kind of scale it was supposed to be or what it was supposed to be scaled to, mainly because I'm not quite sure what anime this thing is from, or if it's from a show, a book, a movie, a game, or anything. I couldn't really find much online, so if you know anything about that, please put it in the comments below. Next, we have a 1/20th scale Frosty Cat. Now, this particular mecha is definitely much larger than our Knight of Dark Sky. However, I didn't know what anime Frosty Cat was really from either. But the 1/20th scale thing it has going for it is not the same as you would see a Gundam scale be. The PG Unicorn Gundam all the way to the right is only at 1/60th scale. So I wouldn't judge the two middle kits here by the Gundam scales. This is kind of why I had to do a side-by-side for you to see how large this guy was in comparison to some of the other model kits that I've done in the past. Overall, I've spent somewhere around $100 on MG kits before, basically like the Banshee kit that I have, plus I have a Unicorn in the same size, and many other. I think I have the Double O Riser in a similar size, and you know, some of those guys definitely go over $100 or around 100, and they can have some quality issues here and there because there are so many pieces. For example, the Banshee that I have is very delicate, but this guy is super sturdy. So would I pay $100 for another model from the same line, or should you pay $100 for this particular model kit? I think it's worth it if you're used to paying somewhere around that much for a model kit that should take you somewhere around 4 to 5 hours to complete, as it took me about that amount of time to finish the Night of Dark Sky. So if you are looking for something interesting that's not necessarily a Gunpla or Gundam model kit, and you need to stem out, or maybe you just seen this at your local hobby store and you were curious, so you looked up this video. Either way, I think it's definitely worth your money if you need something new to build and you want something larger to put on your shelf. Thank you guys for checking out this review of the Night of Dark Sky TP-05 Tanoid Non-Zero Studio Original Mecha Series. I will see you in the next video.